If you see this, you are about to learn detachment. And I need you to understand something up front, right? God doesn't put this message in front of people who are comfortable. He's not going to do it. He puts it in front of people who are so exhausted from holding on to something that is quietly killing their peace. It's quietly killing their clarity. It's quietly killing their future. Detachment isn't cold. It's clarity. It's not heartless. It's healing. Detachment is what happens when you finally stop confusing attachment with love. Attachment is just fear that is wearing the loyalty clothes. Attachment is the ego that is saying, hold on super tight or you'll lose yourself. When the truth is you already lost yourself trying to keep something God never signed off on, right? That's the truth. Let's get real. And science literally backs this up. You know, a study that was done at the University of Buffalo found that attachment to unstable relationships, it literally increases cortisol. It destroys emotional regulation. It starts to create a dependency loop that actually mirrors addiction. What does that mean? It means that you're not in love, really. Your nervous system is just hooked. That's why detachment feels like withdrawal. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you keep replaying the old memories even when the reality was not pretty. You know this. That's why, you crave someone who treated you like an option. Y'all know y'all been treated like an option. Let's not play. I was treated like an option at one point. Your brain is literally detoxing, and God teaches detachment before destiny because he cannot elevate a heart that's chained to confusion still. The Bible literally says, guard your heart, for everything that you do flows from it. That's Proverbs 4 verses 23. But there's always a but you can't guard your heart when you keep giving it to people who ain't even guarding their own. Like you can't do it. Now let's talk about the cons of attachment, like the real ones, like not just the cute little Instagram ones. No. Attachment makes you overlook red flags because you're afraid to be alone. Ah, man, I wish I had my tea. Sip on that. Attachment makes you shrink yourself so they don't leave. Y'all know what man, come on. Like attachment convinces you to tolerate inconsistencies and call them potential. Attachment tells you the pain is worth it because the good moments were real. Even though the good moments were very, very sporadic. Attachment keeps you praying for someone God has already removed. He been told you to let go. You just hold on. Just hold on. And here's the harsh truth. You're really not attached to them. You're attached to the role that you played. You're attached to the version of yourself you became trying to prove you were worthy of their consistency. And God is trying to kill that version of you. He's trying to kill that version of you in this season. Detachment is God breaking you out of who you had to be to survive. This is where the law of detachment actually comes in. Deepak Chopra said, in detachment lies the wisdom of uncertainty, meaning freedom starts when you stop gripping the outcome like it's your oxygen, like you actually need. Come on now, I'm talking today. When you stop forcing, you start flowing. When you stop clinging, you start becoming. And Psalms 55 verses 22 backs it up, right? Cast your burdens on the Lord and he will what? Sustain you. It doesn't say cast them on relationships. It doesn't say, cast them on memories. It doesn't say cast them on the fantasies. It doesn't say cast them on the closure that will actually never come. Cast it on him. Why? Because he's the only strong one to carry what you keep trying to control. Now let's go deeper. Attachments are usually childhood wounds that are wearing the adult clothes, right? You weren't attached to that person. You were just attached to the validation that they gave you. You weren't attached to the relationship. You were attached to the feeling of being chosen. That used to be me. See, trauma bonds mimic love because intermittent affection is the strongest psychological addiction that is known to humans, right? Harvard literally proved that. Like they did a study. That's why you keep going back, right? You're not stupid. You're not weak. You are just chemically conditioned. But detachment resets your nervous system. That's why it's so important to learn this stuff. It doesn't just break the bond, right? It breaks the identity that is formed around the bond. Now let's talk some quick practical steps because I just don't want to be just straight motivation, right? Here it is. Let's go through this real quick. Step 1, tell the truth. Tell the truth, not the romanticized version. You can't detach from a lie. Step 2, stop arguing with reality. Acceptance is the birthplace of detachment. You must remember that. Step 3, stop giving access your peace can't afford. Every time you respond instantly, every time you over-explain, every time you let them re-enter all your life, all casually, you reinforce the bond. Step 4, replace the loop. When your brain drifts back, interrupt it with truth. Say stuff like, I deserve consistency. I deserve clarity. I deserve someone who doesn't confuse me, right? Step 5, detach through purpose. This is very important. When you have purpose, you stop begging for attention. I had to learn that for myself. Purpose literally kills attachment, okay? Step 6, detach spiritually. You got to do this. Pray stuff like Psalms 139 verses 23 through 24. Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. That prayer literally exposes what needs releasing. And here's the part that nobody says. Detachment doesn't just free you from people. It frees you from versions of yourself that were built on fear, on scarcity, on abandonment wounds, on emotional survival mode. You know what I'm saying? Detachment breaks the identity that was formed inside of that dysfunction. Detachment literally makes you dangerous in the best way possible. Like, I'm saying that in the best way possible. Why? Because once your peace stops depending on people, nobody can actually manipulate you anymore. Once your worth stops depending on attention, nobody can bait you. Once your joy stops depending on those outcomes, nobody can actually shake you. And it feels good to be unshakable. That's when, God finally trusts you with real blessings. That's when the right people start to appear in your life. That's when your spirit feels lighter. That's when your future expands. So, if you are seeing this, you're not just learning detachment, right? You're literally becoming spiritually detoxed. God is now removing what your future cannot carry. You must remember this. You are not, breaking down. You're breaking free. You're not losing anything. You're being unhooked from what was shrinking you. So I need you to just sit there, right? Be real. Let it break. Let it fall. Let it hurt. Why? Because pain is often the sound of chains that are snapping. And guess what? Freedom always comes after the snapping. So, this is why learning detachment is so important. It's so important. I want, but I don't need, right? Now, if you are having a hard time with letting go of the past, if you're having a hard time with detachment, you can check out the ebook, Letting Go When God Says So, right? It's a step-by-step guide on how to release with grace. Why? Because there's peace on the other side of letting go. Very important. Very important. I'm yapping. Until next time, I will see you guys when I see you guys. Peace.